And thank you so much for joining us. My name's Tahila from CIMMYT, and I'll be your moderator for today's session. And the session is titled Youth and Gender Inclusion in Agricultural Innovation. We're absolutely thrilled to have participants who are joining us from all over the globe, and it's something that we can only boast of, with very humble hearts, that is. So before we dive into the session, I'll just like to kick it off with a few housekeeping rules. Kindly keep your mics on silent. Um, if you want, you can turn on your cameras so that we can get to know each other. But please bear in mind that this session is being recorded, hence why we can't be having audios just jumping in haphazardly. If you've got any questions, please feel free to engage with the content. Make sure you drop them in the Q&A functionality as well as the chat box. But these are not just questions. We want you to interact with us, to engage as much as possible. So feel free to throw in some comments and yeah, let us know what your thoughts are on the same. Give us some reflections and of course the same questions throughout the session. So allow me to just give you a quick overview of the ADI project. So the Southern Africa Accelerated Innovation Delivery Initiative, ADI, Rapid Delivery Hub, is really a regional effort across the DRC, Zambia, Tanzania, and Malawi. And it really is an effort to address food insecurity by accelerating the access to proven agricultural innovations. And our main focus is really to support smallholder farmers by improving the access to technologies that enhance productivity, resilience, and livelihoods. So I don't want to keep you for too long. So I'd like to introduce the first panelists or the first speakers rather for today, and they come from the Atubandike initiative under ADI. So I'm comms, right? And I'm not supposed to have favorites, but I must say, Atubandike, which is translated let's chat in a Zambian local language, is really something that's close to my heart. And it's an initiative I really enjoy engaging with. Now, for those who are not familiar with it, it's a hybrid advisory platform that is co-developed with Zambian farmers, and that's what I love about it. It delivers voice-based, climate-smart agriculture and health advice via feature phone. So the phone can be a basic handset and it doesn't have to be internet enabled. And it is supported by trained digital champion who are of a very youthful nature, primarily in southern province of Zambia. And it's really centered around community dialogue. So to present the first session, we'll have Cleopatra Kangwa, who's the lead implementer of Atubandike. Um, she is based in Lusaka, Zambia, and her role really pretty much focuses on ensuring continued access to quality agriculture information and also promoting an inclusive e-extension approach that bridges information gaps for farmers, regardless of their gender, regardless of their age and location, all in an effort to enhance productivity and resilience. We'll also be having Brian, who will be joining in this first session. He is a policy analyst and he deals with sustainability plans for their Tubandike project and really just trying to deal with the long-term scale of Atubandike by developing financing models, private public partnerships, and youth gender type of strategies. So we're so glad to have you join us. I do know that the Tubandika team, maybe that's why they're one of my favorites. They're always really engaging with us quite a lot on these sessions. So guys, please take it away and have a lot of fun. The floor is yours. And to everybody else who's as eager as I am to really listen in, make sure you comment and make sure you ask as many questions as you would like. Thank you so much. Cleo, Brian, the floor is yours.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Cleopatra Kawanga. Yeah, as Tehila has already alluded to, I'll be presenting with Brian on the Atubandike initiative today. Thank you. Brian, over to you.
Yes, good afternoon and good morning, I guess, to everyone. And so, yes, my name is Brian Roque, and as Cleo has shared, we will be presenting together. So, yes, Cleo, we can go ahead and start our presentation and get on with it. Thank you.
Yeah, good morning, good afternoon once again. Presenting on behalf of the team. Yeah, my name is Cleopatra Kawanga once again, and this is our team with Dr. Monica Fisher, Dr. Paso Marenya, Dr. Martina, Dr. Ganguli, Milton, and Chimunya, Brian, and Brian. Am I audible enough?
You're
Yes,
perfect.
Cleo.
We can hear you.
Okay, all right. Yeah, so today we are discussing the Atubandige initiative, looking at digital advisory in Zambia. And from our baseline study, we have found out that we have high feature phone penetration in Zambia, but the smartphone use in Zambia is still very low. So from the graph, we can see that only 5% of the farmers we engaged with at baseline have access to smartphones, yet over 80% of them do own feature phones. Farmers, because of their busy routines, they need quick and reliable advisory services that fit into their busy schedules. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, yet we are faced with digital divides that we are calling the 5 A's, which are access, affordability, awareness, and ability to access the digital tools. What we mean by access is the availability of the necessary infrastructure, such as mobile networks and devices for the farmers to access digital extension tools. What we mean by affordability is access to is the cost of the devices themselves. If an extension tool is using a smartphone, for example, are the farmers able to afford such kind of an intervention? And does it use airtime or data for the farmers to be able to access the information? When we talk about awareness, we are talking about so many digital extension tools being available, but are the farmers aware of the existence of these tools, and do they have the understanding of how they can benefit from these tools? And also, when we talk about ability, do the farmers have the skills and the confidence to effectively use digital extension tools? So after identifying these barriers, Atubandige comes in now as a bridge to address these barriers. And how we address these barriers is through the core design of the Atubandige initiative with the farmers. It's built on the 3 features or the core features, where it's an accessible technology to deal with the access issue. It works on feature phones through voice-based messaging in English and in 4 local languages: Bemba, Tonga, Lozi, and Nyanja, meaning even farmers who are not literate enough can still be able to understand the messaging. It's also farmer-centered. The farmers provide feedback. They share questions, share their farming experiences, making the content not only relevant, but also responsive to their needs. And also, it works with the digital model. We talked about the ability of the farmers to use a digital extension tool. So we use digital champions to help farmers understand how to use the platform and also to understand the messages or the advice that is given through the platform. This is the overall design of the platform where we have the digital aspect or the channels of using interactive voice response. And then the farmers can ask their questions and share their experiences. But also the feedback given to the farmers is curated by the content committee that is composed of various actors to make sure that the content that is given to the farmers is not only scientific, but can be actioned at household level. And we have the in-person channels where the digital champions, we have 84 digital champions, of which 50% are female and 42% are youth that work with the farmers at grassroots level. And we also work with the community, with local leaders and social change makers. So this is the overall design of the Atubandige Digital platform. And this is the interface of how the platform works, where from the main menu, the farmers can ask a question, listen to talk shows. Talk shows are just radio style answers that are given to the questions that the farmers ask. They can also share their farming experience, and others can listen to the farming experience that has already been shared by others. They can also listen to agricultural advice that is already about 36 messages across different agronomic practices that have already been put there for the farmers to learn from. Okay, so the audio is not playing. We wanted to give you an idea of how the farmers engage with the platform. So we are using the Rich, Benefit, Empower, and Transform framework to engage gender equity, youth, and social inclusion, making sure that we reach everyone, the marginalized farmers, especially women and youth, but also that beyond reaching them, they are able to use the information for their productive use. And also we empower them, the digital champions, and transform the communities through addressing some gender stereotypes. So this is what we do when we say reach the farmers through the local language messaging and using feature phones. The information that they receive, their calls are free. It's toll-free. They don't have to use any airtime. So this is how we are able to reach every farmer. And we've provided MTN SIM cards to the farmers to address the digital barriers for those that can't afford. And so far, over 21,000 calls have been placed on the platform, and consistent engagement is coming from women. As you can see, from the time we rolled out in September 2024 to an analysis up to May 2025, we see consistent engagement coming from women to show their hunger or the information gap that exists among them. And to benefit, they are turning the information into action. So the farmers ask questions on various topics on agriculture, and we have the local DCs that help them navigate the platform to understand the messages. So examples of messages that are on the platform include, for example, raising awareness on when the right time for a farmer to apply basal fertilizer. So there are different perceptions among the farmers, but we are teaching them like they should apply base of fertilizer at planting. So that's an example of some of the climate smart agriculture practices that is available on the platform. Issues of aflatoxins or the use of the Purdue improved crop storage bags, they commonly referred to as PICS bags. The farmers are aware of the existence of such technologies or such practices. So from our midline survey, farmers who engage with our platform have reported increased awareness on these climate smart agricultural practices. And they say that their messages are easy to understand and they are relevant in local language because they are in a dialogue format. So it's not like a monologue, but in a dialogue format where someone else is asking questions and another person is responding to the questions in local language. So on the empowerment, we are working with the 84 digital champions who are men, women, and youth. And we've trained them on different aspects, digital skills, good agronomic practices, gender equity and social inclusion, what does it mean? And to sustain also their motivation in their role in the community, we provide them with data plans, monthly data plans, and bi-weekly check-ins to see how they are doing. And from their report, some of them feel empowered to say, now I feel like a camp officer because of the knowledge I have gained from interacting with Atubandige. And another woman mentioned to say, I had faced challenges in earning recognition as a leader before, but after being trained, I have the confidence to lead in my community. So this shows a level of empowerment that the DCs have received. And transformation, we are going beyond just reaching the farmers. How can we meaningfully improve agricultural production? It's through shifting social norms or social cultural norms that exist that hinder agricultural production. For example, saying that youths do not want to participate in agriculture, or women do not need to own specific fields for them to farm. They are not the real farmers at household level. Such kind of norms hinder agricultural production. Even when the farmers are given all the relevant inputs for them to produce, the productivity still remains low because of certain norms that hinder. So we've talked to over 1,700 community members through drama and dialogues to try and shift their perception on some of these gender stereotypes. And emerging from these engagements, the 28 social change makers or the change agents within the community that help to shift the social norms beyond our meetings. So from the community engagements, some of the youths came out to say we should also be included in youth leadership roles, and the community should also listen to the ideas coming from the youths. And from the research and learnings that we've done so far, we've used the mixed methods research kind of research data collected at baseline and at midline using in-depth interviews, focus group discussions, economic games, and digital champion surveys. And we also get monthly administrative data from Viamo, who are the managers of the platform. So we are able to tell how many farmers have engaged with the platform in a particular period. And from this process, one publication or manuscript has been published, which is the Designing with Farmers, Inclusive Lessons from Developing a Digital Extension Platform in Zambia. So this has been published, and in the process of publication, 4 other manuscripts which are listed down there, such as the willingness to pay for digital extension services beyond project funding. How willing are farmers to pay for such kind of services? And also women's identity and empowerment in a male-dominated profession, hearing from the experiences of the digital champions. And our study or the initiative makes use of randomized control trial. So we have 5 treatments with about 560 farmers per treatment, giving us 2,800 farmers. And in treatment 1, farmers only listen to the advisory given without them giving feedback. So they can't ask questions, they can't share the experience. But in treatment 2, they are able now to engage and give feedback by asking questions and sharing the experience. And then we enhance treatment 3 now by introducing the digital champions. And the digital champions in treatment 4 receive further training in gender diversity and inclusion. And in treatment 5, we go further to now engage the community and sensitize them on gender stereotypes. I think from here, I'll leave it to my colleague, Brian, to take over. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Cleo. So, as you've heard from Cleo, we've had a bit of impact on this project, and basically what we've been doing for the last couple of months is thinking of ways that we can sustain this benefits, at least for the good of Zambian farmers. And if you can go to the next slide, we have come up with a sustainability goal, a way that we can sustain this project beyond funding. And what you're saying is that we want to transition the Atubandike platform into a public-private digital agriculture extension tool under the Ministry of Agriculture in Zambia. And we are seeing 4 ways in which we will be able to do this. If you can go to the next slide. And one of them is we want to strengthen collaboration between government, digital service providers, community organizations, and farmers. And this is mainly because, as you have seen, the Atubandike platform uses a wide range of partners to deliver, especially on its content that is derived from all these different spaces all these spaces in whether it's from government, whether it's from agronomists in private sector, or whether it's from our researchers right here within the Atubandike team. And the next thing is that we want to also diversify the funding that's mainly sustaining the operational costs of this platform. And we want to do this so that we can ensure that the platform remains accessible to farmers. And 3 things are, there we go, yeah. So I'm in the second point, in diversifying funding through 3 things, and we're looking at having the public budgets. This is getting into government budget line. Obviously, this is not an easy task, and that's why we're also going for 2 more options, which is an affordable farmer fee. And as Cleo mentioned, we have done a willingness to pay study, and when the research is out, we will be able to at least know an exact figure that we can model a sort of low farmer subscription that ensures that no farmer is excluded. The next thing is that we're also looking at an opportunity for co-financing with partners aligned to digital extension services. And here we are looking at agriculture chain players. So we have agribusinesses, we have seed companies, even banks. And mainly how this would work is when as they raise awareness about their products and inputs, we would be able to at least get some bit of funding through advertisements and this kind of framework. So It's also important that we invest in the social infrastructure, and this means that we need to train the local actors. So, and this could be our extension agents, officers in the Ministry of Agriculture extension infrastructure. And we are looking at ways in which we can be able to at least to impart some of the experience and knowledge that we have gained from running this platform for as long as it has. And this mainly, there's three things that we have seen that are very important, which is having the knowledge to do climate smart agriculture content development. We also need to have training on farmer engagement data analysis. As Cleo shared earlier, we do get this data from VMO, which is a very rich data that we then analyze, and we can be able to tell what content needs to be put out and exactly how the engagement is looking on the platform. The next one is training on digital tools and also the inclusive communication, very important. And this mainly means how do we build trust and support equitable participation across gender and social groups. And the last one is that our three core features, as Cleopatra had mentioned earlier, and we are looking that we want to maintain these three core features because this is what has gotten us up to this point where we have over, I think, 21,000 plus calls in a span of 9 months, and also reaching out to close to 4,000 farmers. So we want to, this has been done by accessible technology that is blended, that is in a blended format, meaning that it incorporates digital and in-person support. And also it enables farmers to co-originate content, the platform's design, and also the farmers are able to connect with peers. So next slide.
Sorry to interject, Brian, we've got 3 minutes left for your session. Thank you. Is the audio glitch only on my end?
Great. Ways in which we can use generative AI. I think I saw that. Is my audio? Hello?
Yes, we're good
Hello?
now. Thanks. We're good.
Oh, sorry about that, guys. Sorry about that. So yeah, a virtual advisory coach that is powered by generative AI. And in this case, the coach will be able to work with on a basic phone, and it will platform. And so here we are building on VMO's proven IVR system, and that particular virtual advisory coach will combine AI with trusted local structures. Next slide. So we are looking at about 4 things. One is community orientation. We want to, before rollout of this AI, we want to have the coach introduced to digital champions, extension agents, community health workers, and local associations. And this is mainly to help build the build the early trust that is needed in agricultural advisory. The next is the farmer interaction. So this AI will be using VMO's speech-to-text engine. So this is where we have a rich database of CIMMYT's knowledge, agricultural advisories, and Agriculture's content. And we will be using this. So when the farmer calls and asks a question, the system is able to convert this into, in lack of more basic words, into numbers, so that the computer can quickly compare what the meaning is and pull the content that closely matches what the farmer needs. And this is given back in natural speech, so in a very empathetic tone and in local language. And the interaction is very conversational, so just like talking to a human on the other end. The next thing is that we know that we do not only rely on the knowledge base that we have alone. We cannot have all the answers on the platform. So we will also be taking some queries that have been flagged as not having a response, and those will be able to be consulted through a local expert. Okay, I mean the digital support, so almost ending. So we are also complementing the virtual advisory coach with in-built assistance, in-person assistance, sorry. So here the digital champion extension agent will help the farmer use the system and troubleshoot the challenges that we have and contextualize the advice within local practice. So practical knowledge that is now given by the digital champion extension agent. And the last thing is that we also have farmers quality assurance. So because we understand the AI can make mistakes, the coach will continue to have continuous feedback. So, and also at the end, we're also looking to have ask farmers about the interaction with the system, and this will be done through FPGs, our in-depth interviews, so that you can get insights into the trust, usability, and inclusion of the platform. So, last slide as I wind up. So, okay. So yes. So this. Yeah. So these 3-4 things that I've mentioned here, when we bring them all together, we will create a farmer-centered and trustworthy mechanism that incorporates human and AI. And we're looking at this as a way that we can take the platform beyond just sustainability, but also adaptability to the current trends in technology. And I would like to close my presentation there. Cleo, we can go to the last slide. And if you do require any more information, please go ahead and scan that QR code. It will take you to the Atubandika website so that you can see this with more information on the website, and also a chance to interact with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Nobel, are you joining me, or I continue with the moderation? Okay, I think our legitimate moderator for today has unfortunately been having a few audio challenges, so then I'll just have to continue on with the same. So thank you so much to the Tubandike team. We really appreciate it. So we're just pressed for time. So I do know you've got so much information to share. But for those who are interested to learn more about Tubandike, please just stay on, and we're gonna ask the questions, the relevant questions, and make sure that you do. I hope you have scanned that QR code, and just follow them as well online. They do have a dedicated webpage that is under the CIMMYT website. So our next speaker for today has over 2.5 decades of experience in the legume industry, and he founded Farmer Outgrower Foundation in 2016 with only 12 farmers. But listen to this, right now he works with over 4,500 smallholder farmers, and he operates, well, FOF itself operates in Eastern, Central, Copperbelt provinces, and they currently have 10 permanent staff and 30 seasonal female staff, which they hire depending on the time of the year. And it is a private social enterprise that supports farmers' social and economic well-being through agriculture. They are one of our implementers under the ADI project, and it's an absolute pleasure to call on Whiteson Sakala to really give us a case study on just youth and gender inclusion within this space. Thank you so much. Whiteson, please, the floor is yours.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, everyone. Yeah, as Tehila said, my name is Whiteson Sakala, and I'll go straight into my presentation. So this is a picture of a gentleman. He's a farmer in South Luangwa,
Hi,
And
Whiteson. I can't see your screen yet, or is it just me?
okay,
I'm not
just a
too sure if
minute.
it's
Let me.
just me. Cleo, can you see his screen?
No, we can't see it. We can only see his face.
Okay.
Sorry. Let me do this. Are you able? Hello? Are you able to see my screen?
Not
No.
not yet, Mr. Sam.
No.
Oh, sorry. Let me.
You're on camera.
Oh, just a minute.
Okay. Perfect. It's come. All
Are
right.
you able?
Yep. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
you can. So you can just put it in presentation mode. Then we're good to
All
go.
right. Sorry. I hope
No worries.
everything's all right
We're good.
now. Great. Thank
Everything's
you.
A-okay. Thank you so much.
Fine. Thank you. Yeah. So our first picture shows a gentleman in South Luangwa where sorghum used to grow way back. Farmers depended on sorghum as their staple food. But with time, because of subsidies on maize, farmers shifted. But with support that we got from CIMMYT, we reintroduced sorghum, and this is a happy farmer. Just to show you the picture of this gentleman. So, to give you the background, Farmers of Grow Foundation was founded in 2016, and as Tehila said, we started with only 4 farmers. We operate in Eastern, Central, and Copper Belt provinces. Basically, we're in legumes and sorghum seed multiplication with 10 permanent staff dotted around the areas where we operate. And our target farmers are the smallholder farmers, and they are in groups and cooperatives. Each group or cooperative is led by a lead farmer who is a trained extension volunteer. This is a field of cowpea. We wish to state that before the AIDI project, FOF, or Farmers at Grow Foundation Limited, was only producing groundnuts, soybeans to a certain extent, but with the coming in of AIDI project, we ventured into production of cowpea seed, sorghum seed, and beans. We also introduced new varieties of groundnuts such as MGV8, which is very, very good and highly drought tolerant. And the cowpeas actually proved to be highly drought tolerant. In the year 2023-2024 season, when we had very low rainfall, the cowpea did very well. And so the following year, which was 2024-2025, almost all the farmers that we were working with wanted to do cowpea. So we're talking of youth and women. Why do we include the youth? The youth have got the energy to work. They are hungry for new technology, and the women contribute significantly to the agricultural labor, but face systemic exclusion from certain innovations. When we include women, productivity increases. There's also diverse perspectives and sustainable development. This is a field, and the gentleman you see in the picture is working for Zambia Seed Control and Certification Institute. He was inspecting seed in a certain area in Mambwe. This was a soybean field. As I said earlier on, the project supported production of soybeans on a larger scale. Where we were before AIDI, we had only 3,500 smallholder farmers. We only had 50 farmers in Mpongwe and only 45 farmers in Kabwe. And the farmers in these two areas multiplied only groundnut seed, and the variety was Wamsanga. Wamsanga means early maturing. Today, we have a total of 4,500 smallholder farmers. And 75% of these 4,500 smallholder farmers are women. 15% are men and 10% are youth. So from the figures I gave earlier on from the previous slide, now we have 180 smallholder farmers in Mpongwe and 135 smallholder farmers in Kawe, multiplying not only groundnuts, but also cowpea, sorghum, groundnuts, and soybean seed. And the soybean seed that we multiply is a government variety, which is called Kahiwe. This is a picture of one of our lead farmers. She's found in Chipangali, of course, Eastern Province. And she's one of those farmers that can testify on what she has benefited through the AIDI project in terms of income improvement or increase and the yields, including the introduction of the new crops such as cowpea. What have been our achievements? The introduction of cowpea and sorghum, of course, and beans. We have 750 more women engaged in seed multiplication, 100 more youth engaged in seed multiplication, and 150 more men engaged in seed multiplication. If you add these, you realize that the project has brought on board 1,000 more farmers. Talking about the youth, this is an example of a youth that has benefited from FOF partnership with the CIMMYT. This young lady dropped out of school. Her name is Jennifer Sanga. But with the coming in of the AIDI project, she decided to venture into farming. And she has a very good story because she went back to school, completed grade 12, went for teaching. Right now, as I'm talking to you, she's running a preschool in the village in Chipangali. Benefits to women and youth. The project has given an opportunity for access to improved and climate smart seeds, increased income, reduced malnutrition, improved livelihood. Farmers are able to have good houses, they own livestock, and they educate their children. There are also opportunities such as for training in good agriculture practices, gender social inclusion, basic management, formation of village banking groups. On village banking groups, we have a group which is doing so well that they are able to lend money to civil servants in the village. And this is deep in the village. The civil servants will go and borrow money from this village banking group. This is a picture of one of our field officers in the field showcasing the harvest of soybeans. Benefits to Farmers Outgrow Foundation Limited. We have seen an increase in production from 100 tons of soybeans to about 300 metric tons. From 30 tons of groundnuts to 80 metric tons. And this is very high quality seed. From zero cowpea, we never had cowpea before AIDI, to 80 metric tons this year of cowpea. From zero sorghum to 30 tons of sorghum this year. The project also helped us to increase our networks, our customers, partners, and more farmers. We, as FOF, have been exposed in different ways. So our visibility has increased. We've participated in agriculture shows. We've also hosted demonstration plots. We have participated in exhibitions, seed fairs, and others, including the Chisamba Agritech, which was a great eye-opener for us. This is our warehouse, our small warehouse. If you notice, we have women that are working, trying to clean the seed, sorting and grading. Right now, our warehouse has become too small because of the increased production. There's very little space. And as such, we've even suspended buying the crop from farmers. We hope that by next week, we'll have created space so that we continue buying. This is a picture of our participation at Eastern Province Provincial and Agriculture Show. And from the support we got from CIMMYT, we actually came out #1 in our category. This was our stand, Farmers of Grower Foundation Limited. Conclusion. Farmers of Grower Foundation Limited was one of the major beneficiaries from the AIDI project. And this has seen us grow, and our visibility has increased greatly. FOF will continue to promote technologies acquired through the project and onboard more farmers. The advantage we have, or the advantage that an institution or a project has with working with the Farmers of Grower Foundation Limited, is that even after the project, we'll continue to do our work because we are in it for profit. We are in it for business. We wish to thank CIMMYT for the huge support that they rendered to us, and that is the end of my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I can see a round of applause, virtual ones, for both presentations, honestly. At the end of the day, what we want to see is impact. And thank you so much for showing that and demonstrating that through the stories you were telling. One story that's always striking to me whenever I hear about Farmers Outgrow Foundation is that of Jennifer, and we're creating a docu-series that's currently in production, and she's one of those that we really zero into, just having what was seemingly a hopeless situation where a girl couldn't go to school or finish school because of financing challenges. And she, through the initiative of ADI, of course, and definitely the work of FOF, has been able to be empowered to then empower the next generation of farmers, the next generation of leaders. And that's absolutely commendable. And thank you so much for sharing that and reminding me of such a brilliant success story, as well as the others. Tubandike, once again, thank you so much for the presentation. At this point, I'm going to open the floor for comments and questions. We have one. Is this a comment from Milton? Just talking about the sustainability approach. Milton saying that the sustainability approach is very impressive. And yes, and it is what it is, because what we want to see is the continuation of this impact well beyond the ADI project. I think if most of the work stops immediately the ADI project comes to a conclusion, then it means that we wouldn't have done our work, but we want just the benefits of what has been taught, what has been shared, what has been given, and the research that has been put into it to make sure that it is even seen in the lives of others for many, many years to come. So the floor is open. I don't see any questions so far. Maybe a general question to both the Tubandika team as well as FOF, right? This is something I'm always just pondering on. How do you then balance traditional structures in farming communities as you're trying to empower young people and empower young women? How do you then strike a balance with those who want to like hold on to these social and gender norms, and you on the other hand are there to sort of pretty much challenge these norms? So how do you work with such resistance on the ground?
May I come in?
Yes, please.
Thank you. Yeah, what we have done as FOF is we engaged the groups in the villages, and we asked them to choose their own leaders, those that they are comfortable with, and we've continued to train the groups and the lead farmers. And I think the situation has completely changed, because I think if we take, for example, the story of Jennifer, if she had, when she dropped out of school, if the traditions were still having a grip on her, she would not probably have gone back to school. But because we have tried to impart knowledge, and we have trainings like gender and social inclusion, that has also helped greatly. Thank you.
Thank you. And just a follow-up question, not really to the same, but this is also for you, Whiten. With regards to, yes, you are like we're partnering together right now, with regards to the ADI project, but beyond that, what are some of your plans to scale some of these inclusive innovations? And we'll also have another question, but you can answer that one, and then I will jump to the other question that's come through.
Okay, yeah. Our policy is that whenever we are recruiting farmers or we are onboarding farmers, 75% of these should be women, and 10% should be the youth. That is our policy. And we'll continue to do that for as long as we continue to expand. And for example, let's talk of sorghum. We realize that the demand for sorghum seed is very high, especially among women, because they are trying to bring back those old ways of doing things, meaning that farmers want to start using or having a sorghum as their main meal, a staple food. So what we have done is we have acquired a piece of land within Chipata, where we will build a processing factory. So we will not have only seed, but we will also have processed sorghum or sorghum meal, meaning that other than the seed, we also have the grain. And this will mean that we have to engage more women to produce the grain. Thank you. I hope I've answered the question.
You have, which actually feeds in pretty well to the question from Omolo. This is directed to FOF again, saying that with the advent of technology, what is the fate of many women involved in seed cleaning? So I know you spoke about how a lot of them will be now involved with grain, and you have to kind of recruit more. But then also um, with the proliferation of ICTs and technologies and the like, you find that it makes the world more efficient by using less people to produce a job that would have taken tens of women. So how do you then balance that?
All right. Thank you very much for your question. Yeah. As much as we may not increase the number of workers, we know that we increase the number of women producing sorghum grain, groundnuts, and other crops. So that's how we'll balance. As much as we may not increase the number of workers because of technology, we will increase the number of beneficiaries, and we will increase the number of smallholder farmers that we're part of. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm not too sure if we've got any more questions, any comments. We have a hand from Oswin. Please do take it away. You can switch on your mic, introduce yourself, and go ahead with your question. Oswin, are you able to switch on your mic? Okay, if not, I'll ask. I think you've got the provision too. Please do try again.
Yeah, hello.
Hi, we can hear you. Please
Okay.
go ahead.
Yeah. I want to thank Mr. Sakala for a very interesting presentation and impact. Now, my question is on the sorghum crop. I know in many countries, bed damage is a big challenge for white sorghum. So I want to know what variety was that one for the sorghum, and so if it is a white sorghum, did they not have serious bed damage that discourages adoption? Thank you.
Hello, Mr. Mazonga, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Yeah.
I'm happy you are here.
Yeah.
Mr. Mazonga has been very instrumental in the growth of Farmers Outgrow Foundation Limited, and he saw it starting and seen it where it is today. Coming back to your question, sometimes it's difficult for us to understand as technicians, right? But the farmers have got their own ways of preventing the birds from harvesting, in inverted commas, the sorghum. The sorghum that we multiplied is the CIMMYT. It is white in color, and the growth tall, as you saw in the picture that I showed, the first picture that I showed. They have their own ways that I don't understand. I've been asking them, how do you prevent this? They say, no. We actually chase the birds and we have got our own ways. And we're still trying to find out what other ways they have. But the consumption of sorghum by birds was very, very minimal, because if it was March, I think the farmers would not have harvested what they have harvested this year.
Thank you. I appreciate that, but it has been a very big problem in many of the SADC countries where white sorghum is produced. So I think it will be good to learn from the farmers. When you visit, just to try to talk to them and understand how the obvious one is by just scaling, but farmers sometimes say, oh, we are busy, so when we are away, there's nobody to guard against the birds, so it becomes a problem. There is a nice technology at ICRIS at headquarters in India, where they made some small bombs which they fit in the field at strategic positions, and every 10 seconds one bomb explodes and the birds fly away. So we are still learning, but it's nice, it's interesting to see that you managed to get the seed, which means there was minimal damage, as you have said. But let's learn from the farmers how they scare the birds, so that we can also scale out that kind of technology that they use to protect the crop. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Absolutely. I was going to say the same. Since this is always a co-learning space, I would encourage you to go back to the farmers and kind of learn how they go about things. And yes, Mr. Austin, please feel free to also do more research on what's being implemented in India, and see that if it can be replicated in this part of the globe. So we've got two more questions, and those will be the last ones due to time, because I don't want to keep people for too long. We had already started a few minutes late. I think the first one I'll be posing it to Atubandike. And then the next one, whoever from the two sessions is free to answer. So I'll read them out at the same time, and they can be answered immediately after. So the first one is, how do we quantify the contribution of women in terms of increased household income, family welfare, etc. So how is that quantified? How do we quantify the contribution of women in terms of increased household income? The second one, and they need some clarity on how the women involvement has impacted labor, which for a long time has been seen as overburdening. In fact, most interventions have geared towards reducing women labor in the agricultural systems. So basically, how has the women involvement been impacted by labor? Are we overburdening them, or are we trying to strike a balance? Because that's been known to be the case for decades on end. So Atubandike, FOF, feel free to answer both questions.
Can I come in? Oh. Can I come in?
Yes, you can come in, and then Atubandike will finish off.
Okay, please. Thank you. In terms of increased income for women, I'll share with you that crop, right? And it is indeed still a woman's crop, because in a family, the woman would decide how much land should be spared for groundnuts. Now it's plus cowpea, all right? Why? Because it is a very, very nice cash crop. It gives a lot of money. With the new varieties that our ZARI has brought on board, let me give an example of MGV8, which has a very, very high yields. Okay, so at one time, the farmer would actually harvest, probably from a lima, would harvest maybe just 4 by 50 kgs of groundnuts. But now, with new technology, new seed varieties, the farmer can actually get 8 by 50 kgs, even more, from a lima. Okay, if you have got more bags, and for example, right now the price of groundnut grain, is 33 kwacha per kg, meaning that each bag will go for 1,650 kgs. Okay. If it is as it was, sorry, I think I made a mistake. If we say we have 8 bags, each one weighing 50 kgs and costing 33 kwacha per kg, it will give us 13,200. Before that, it would give the farmer half this amount. All right. The same with the cowpea. The new varieties have got very high yields. If the kg, the grain is going for 13 kwacha, for example, a bag will cost 650 kwacha. That is a 50 kgs, right? Before that, the varieties that were there would produce probably only half of this. And this is what we mean when we say increased income. The new varieties with high yields have increased income for the women. Thank you.
Thank you. Atubandike?
Yes, I think just going with what Mr. Sakala has already said, I think we look at it from the youth perspective to see, also looking at what kind of fields do the women control. I think it goes beyond just numbers of what has been produced at household level, but understanding the dynamics of how that increase in income, how it's used in the household for the women and also for the youths. I think it goes also beyond the women, also for the youths. I think from the community engagement, some of the youths talked about what discourages them to participate in agriculture. And they mentioned issues of income distribution after harvest, to say they don't benefit from the income that is produced at household level. I don't know if Dr. Monica is available to add, to contribute to the question.
Sure, I can. I thought you did a great job, Cleo. My response is probably gonna, hopefully doesn't go off track. But what came to me from this question in part is, have we looked at impacts of our project on household income? And what I would say is that is something that we would like to do in the future, because right now we're really at the phase where we're working to bridge, as Cleo mentioned earlier, these vast digital divides. And so it's really more, our project has been more centered on kind of some foundational things like building trust in digital advisory, because farmers are far more familiar with an in-person advisor. So building that digital trust, working with farmers to support them and seeing the value in getting information from their phone about agriculture, so that they participate meaningfully, spontaneously. They have a question and then they go to Atubandike to get their farming question answered. And then that would, of course, what we hope is that would then lead to increased knowledge and awareness about the kinds of practices like CSA practices that are profiled on the platform. And then that would in turn improve productivity inclusively, so women, men, youth, and others. And then that would then lead to increased food security and income. So we see it as it's a step-by-step process, and we're still kind of in the earlier phases there. I hope that answered. Thank you.
Can I add a few words on what Dr. said?
Okay.
Taylor, do I have a minute?
A minute, 30 seconds, in fact.
All right. Yeah, just like Doc has actually said, like you said, how do we quantify women's contribution as far as income is concerned? Yeah, we've been on the ground actually emphasizing on, but if you see Atubandike is more, it's not more lifting just women over men, but Atubandike is on balancing men and women working together and involving the youth. So there's been a lot of advocacy, a lot of community engagements that we've done, and we've seen a lot of change where before women were just like used as a source of labor. And now, after Atubandike and the sensitizations that are taking place, we've seen a lot of change where men are actually now sharing fields, where women are allowed to own fields of their own. And like Doka said, we're at the stage where, yes, women are being given fields to farm. So and now they're harvesting. So I think going forward, would love to know what they harvested and what they sowed, and that would translate to how much they're contributing to household food security and income security as well. That's why even social change makers, these digital champions, it's balanced, it's 50-50. I saw Mr. Whiteson, for him it's 75% women, 25% men, but for us, thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you so much. At this point, I would like to just close because we could go on, especially with regards to these conversations. As we delve deeper into it, you find that there's so much we could learn, because it's pretty much conversations that we see on a daily, and we kind of seeing them come alive and seeing the results and solutions pretty much come alive in our, like, our everyday lives. And these are things that we can identify with, especially us who are on the African continent and more in these marginalized communities. So thank you so much to all those who took time to present, who took the time to put the presentations together. To Cleo, Brian, Whiteson, we really do appreciate it. To Nobel, who is supposed to be my co-moderator for the day, thank you so much for your efforts. Unfortunately, technology would just not budge today, but it is well. Um, these contributions have been absolutely thoughtful. Thank you so much to those who've asked questions and made the various contributions. So, and to those obviously who have joined and given us a listening ear, and really just pretty much engaging these important conversations. And for us, it's not about us really just reducing these conversations to this 1 hour, 15 minutes. For instance, it's pretty much having a platform to start and spark some of these conversations, and hopefully inspiring you to take on these conversations within your projects, within your firms, so that we come up with results. Because I always feel like certain challenges come from strategic conversations, and that is definitely the starting point. And on behalf of ADI and our partners, we really hope that today's discussion has left you inspired to pretty much champion inclusion in every form. It doesn't just have to be in agriculture, but it can be in the different spaces that we do find ourselves in. But not forgetting that female inclusion, youth inclusion does not mean that it is a replacement of the counterparties. Not at all. It's all about us working together and putting our brains and our energies and resources together for the betterment of our countries and our continents alike. So please do stay tuned for the next ADA webinar, which will be held in September, and we'll be sharing the details soon. So until next time, have a good one. Cheers.
Thanks.